Hey everybody, welcome back to Creating Scenery for Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's been a while, but I'm finally back to our Timken Hangar at Kilo Charlie Alpha Kilo, Akron-Canton Regional Airport in Akron, Ohio. And I'm just going to record live me working, and maybe I'll put it in my video editing software and edit out all the cuss words and stuff. But anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about. All right, so I'm going to add some textures that I don't have textures. I'll probably end up redoing the roof. I don't really like the roof. It looks like a marble slab in my opinion. I'm going to apply some textures where I don't have any, like on these hangar doors and around the other side on that wall. And I'm going to make the interior frame so you guys can see how I do that. But first, I noticed I'm in UV editing, and this texture, notice that this one polygon right here is not okay. It's over here, so it is sometimes, well, see, it's pretty darn flat. Doesn't have any width. It looks like almost just a single line, but that polygon is so close to each other that it makes it look like a straight line. So what I'm going to read, I think what I'll do, because you can select a polygon and, select a face, and you can come in the UV and do a GX or something and move it so these high points match. But I think I must have did a loop cut and some kind of edit after I applied the texture, and that usually affects how because that new polygon that you created with a slice, or a loop cut, or moving it or something, that will throw off the UV unwrap. So it might be just as easy just to recreate it. So I'm gonna do an A, select all. Do I have my keycast turned on? As always, I usually don't. Yeah, I do. Oop, there we go. Where am I? Alright, so I'm gonna select everything, and I am just going to go to UV. I'm using Blender 3.1, so if you hear me pause, it's because they moved something on me. Alright, so I got face select, go to UV, smart UV. I don't want to scale to bounds, but I want the correct aspect ratio, and so that's going to redo my UV unwrap. Okay, so let's zoom in here, and we are going to rotate. How come my keys aren't showing up? But anyway, let's go 90. And let's see. Let's scale. Looks about right. Alright, so you notice that, we did this in a previous video. But anyway, I gotta flip some faces here because they're not lined up. So I'm selecting some of these faces that are in the wrong orientation. Oh, I got all those there. And those are right. And This end wall is not right. Okay, so those are right. And then we're going to rotate those all 90 and see if that works. Alright, so all my seams are all my siding is standing up. Now the only thing I have to do is line this one up here because those aren't in line. I don't think that's, yeah, that's all one piece. Alright, so we're going to zoom in here and we're going to select this face, get it where the shininess is. Then I'm going to come over here in this window, do a GX, hold down my shift key, get those lined up. There. That's better. Okay, I think I got these little end ones to do too. So I'm just holding shift key, selecting the faces, coming over to the UV area, R90. So they're standing up. Okay. So the door is 3 feet wide, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.5. That's about right, I think. Okay, so that takes care of that. So I'm going to do a file save. Then I'm going to come back over here to the other side that I don't even have. Oh, I can get out of UV unwrap, go back to layout. That's it. Okay. All right. Then I'm going to select that. I think that's the only thing that gets selected. And go into UV unwrap. UV editing, so sorry. And we need to apply, now let's do UV, smart UV, okay. And then I want to, in this window, rotate 90, and we can just move it over here just so it's in our view. And I'm going to select the siding material that I already have created, and we're going to scale that. Whoa, 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 wrong window. This window. Scale. Okay. Go back into layout. So there I have a material assigned to that. Now I need this wall right here. Go into UV editing. A to select all. UV, smart UV, okay. And let's go ahead and assign a material. And which way are you going? So I need to rotate that. So select all, rotate 90. Now we're talking. All right, zoom in a little bit here. Scale. I think it's too small. This is where Trexel would probably come in handy when you're trying to, so you can bring your textures in the exact same scale. All right. I think that's close enough. Not really. Not really. Alright, so I'm going to go back into UV, and I'm going to GX. Let's see. Yeah. It's good enough for now. Alright, now what I want to do is move those, flip those end posts here. So I'm going to face select that face. And select that face, rotate 90. Whoops. Rotate 90. There we go. Okay. Now, let's do go back to layout, do a save. Alright, now, what do I want to do next is let's look at our prototype. Okay, so our doors are also ribbed steel, same color. So we're going to add that, minimize my prototype, come over here to the doors, and let's add, oops, let's go into UV editing. I'm going to pause for a second. Okay, I want to make a quick edit. Alright, so we can, I don't like this. I don't like how I'm not scaling my texture the exact same as this. So I'm going to do something different. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this object, which is hit the period on the number pad to focus my table of contents. It's called roof end. And then I'm going to select that other piece that I applied and hit period so I can find that that's called Quansant. Alright. Is that the only object that gets selected for Quansant? Is that the only piece I have left for Quansant? Alright, so I'm going to call this, let's see, this is roof end, and this one is called Quansant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two objects, and I'm going to join both of these into roof end so they're one object. Then when I apply the texture, I don't have to worry about the different scales between the two. Alright, so I'm going to do a Control J. So now those are one object. Now I still need to, now I'm going to go back into UV editing. And I'm going to select everything, and I'm going to create a new UV wrap. Okay. And I'm going to, over here in the left, I'm going to select all, rotate 90. Now the frame is upside down, but that's okay because the ribs are vertical anyway. So I'm going to GX, just move that over just a little bit. Alright, so now that these will scale all at the same time, so I'm going to S, scale those out, get my ribs set up. I'm just zooming out until I get the right scale. There we go. Now, are they lined up? Yep, they're lined up. That's a lot better. I like that. Alright, so now I need to select this face like I did before and this face and rotate those. Whoops, not here, not in this window. Over here. Rotate 90. Okay. And then that should, yeah, that should take care of that. So there we go. So we applied the texture to the other side. Alright, I'm going to pause for a second. Okay, if you guys remember a long time ago when we were working on this Quonset hangar, when I made the hangar doors on the south side, I parented the glass, and that's not really glass, it's fiberglass panels. But I parented the glass, the frames, and the door together. So if I did a rotate on the X, you know, everything rotates at once. All right. So I just wanted to double check that I did have that parented, so we can open our doors if we wanted to. All right. So I'm going to escape out of that. And we're going to go ahead and select the door itself. Here's the window frames, here's the glass, and here is the actual door itself. So what we're going to do is, let's go into UV editing. Zoom out here, select all, and apply the siding material. Oh, I didn't do UV smart. Did I do that? I can't remember. There we go. Alright, and then we're going to select all, rotate that 90, and then we are going to scale. Where's my scale? Alright, my scale's showing up at the top. And so we are going to, we're going to scale that 10.5 on both the Y and the X. So we're going to do 10.5. And if you notice up in this corner when you do the scale, you'll get that 10.5 that we just added. Then I can get out of layout, go back into layout mode, and I can select my other door, go into UV A to select all, zoom in here, and I can go to UV, Smart UV, OK. And then A, select everything, rotate that 90, and then I can scale 10.5. Of course, I don't have, there we go. I forgot to tell it what texture I wanted. So now both of these textures are the exact same scale, so they're both the same. All right, so they look like each other. And you know, when I was doing this little stripe along here, I could have found out what I scaled this and scaled that appropriately too, but I didn't do that. I chose the wimpy way out. All right, so there we have our textures applied to our hangar doors, and right over here we have these two pieces that need that steel siding. So we're going to go into UV unwrap on those. A to select everything. UV, Smart UV, OK. And those are oriented correctly. And let's give it a texture siding. Alright. And now all we need to do is scale those to 10.5 to match our rest. match the rest. Alright, so we're going to come over here, hit A, select everything here, do S, 10.5. Different size, Control Z. Alright, it's relative to the size of the object, so let's just do an S and scale those until we think they look the same. There we go. Slightly different. They don't have to match perfectly because it's a totally different part. Alright, it's not the same part. And then kind of zoom out and see what you think. Okay, I think that's going to work. You know, is it going to be perfect? Absolutely not. I'm human. Okay, I'm human. I make mistakes all the time. I am totally flawed. Okay, I'm going to pause. My pauses are for my coffee. Alright, let's do a save. File, save. Alright, now let's look at our prototype. I think these are rib steel, but I'm not sure. So let's look at our prototype. And let's go around the other side of the building. I'm in Google Earth Pro, just so everybody knows. Whoops. I believe those are rib steel as well. I'm pretty sure. Like I said, this airport doesn't have any good pictures of this hangar. Alright, so I got a door there. And let's see. Now, I don't think I parented any of these door parts. Watch. I'll select this one, then I'll move it in the X, and if the windows don't move, I haven't well, actually, I can look over here. Aha. So there is parenting done. So if I do an GX, yeah, the windows are moving as well, so we're good. Alright, just want to make sure I have all. Did the door move? Yeah. Yeah, the person door moved too, so okay, I just wanted to double check, check my sanity here. Alright, so let's select our hangar door and UV unwrap. A, select everything. I want to focus into it. Okay. And then we are going to add in this. Oh, wait a minute. UV unwrap, smart UV. Okay. And we are sideways. So I'm going to select all, rotate. I'm going to go -90 on this one, put our windows at the top. I don't know what's going on here. This is the cutout for the door. So I think I rotated those wrong. So let's rotate 180. And let's add in our siding. Everything's going up and down. And let's scale this to 10. That's way too small. Let's Control Z and let's scale that at 5. Like I said, it's a different part, so it doesn't have to match the siding perfectly on the building because the door material is probably somewhat different anyway. And these are all sideways, I believe. Yeah, all these polygons right here are the divisions between the windows. So we can, except for this one. Alright, so we're going to select this one, this one, this one, this one. Select all our divisions between our windows and come over here, rotate 90, and now they all should be standing up. Go to layout mode, see how that looks. Yeah. Daddy likey. Except I can't see that one. I hate white. I can't stand working with white in Blender. I really don't. White is one of the worst colors to use, but I don't want it to be gray anyway. Alright, so I'm going to do the exact same thing to every door, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've applied the steel siding to every one of the doors. I just followed the same procedure I did on the first one. Now, I'm going to probably redo, remember a long time ago I created one face for the fiberglass translucent windows. But let's look at our prototype. And whoops, wrong. You can handle this in any way that you want. But okay, you can kind of see the divisions between each of the windows. They're, in a way, the only reason you can see the divisions is because the panel that goes across all the windows is translucent. So we're looking, it's not like they're separate little panes like this side was. Alright. But it's one sheet of fiberglass. I mean, it could be a couple sheets of fiberglass, but it's overlaying the door, and so you can just kind of see the ghost image of the divisions between each window. All right. So I can't really do that perfectly because you notice we're getting this interference between this big polygon and the polygon for the division of the windows. Okay, so what you might want to do is just slightly bring that face out so there's no interference. Okay, so that is in the Y direction, but is it negative Y or positive Y? We're going to go tilde T for the top. All right, so here's the north side. So the north side is negative Y. All right, so we're going to take this and we're going to X, Y minus, let's bring it out a couple inches. So 0.1, that's good enough. They went away. So 0.1 inches, whatever units of measure you're using. Okay. I don't. Oh, I'm sorry. That was 0.1 foot, not 0.1 inches. Okay. There's going to be a little gap. I don't know if I want that or not. So I'm going to Control Z, put that back where it was, and possibly let's try this. Let's leave our window where it is and take these polygons take these polygons for the divisions and move them back so it's kind of like they're inset. I think that'll work, don't you think? Alright, let's try that. And after I do this, I'm gonna stop this video and start recording the next one. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is let's turn our windows off. Let's turn those windows off so we can just see the frame. Alright, and then I'm going to select our door, go into edit mode. How do I want to do this, folks? Let me see what those look like. I bet I don't have my solidify modifier applied. Do I? Because I'm going to take these faces right here and I'm just going to move them back 0.1 feet so they don't interfere with the fiberglass. Alright, so let me pause and figure out how I want to do that. Okay, I got it. So I should have did this, because if you remember with those videos of making the Quonset hanger, I created a door like the one with the person door in it. I made one door and then I copied it to the location. Whoops, sorry, didn't mean to make you seasick. Then I took this door and I copied it to this location and then scooted it back where it was supposed to be. Alright, so these two doors are actually the same. Alright, and then the ones without the door, they're copies of one that I've made. Alright, now I should have did all this work when I first created the door. So I have a couple options. I can take these polygons, which I'm gonna do, and separate those into their own object and set them back a little bit, because if I just selected these vertices and moved them in the Y in 0.1 feet, then this edge right here is gonna angle in. Okay, it's gonna kind of create a bevel type of thing, and I don't want that. I just want these faces scooted back, so I got to make these separate make these divisions into their own object. And then I can change the solidify, because the solidify, the doors are a foot thick, and I'll change the solidify modifier for these divisions to 1 foot minus 0.1. Okay, so it'll be 0.9. Alright, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to select these faces, and like I said, a couple ways I can do this. I can redo and recopy the door, or I can just make the same change on every door, and I think I'm just going to do that. So it'll be the long way around in my opinion, but for video's sake, you guys won't even know, because I'll do that off camera, so to speak. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I'll show you. I'll do one. So I have these edges selected, so I'm going to hit P, make those a new selection. So now I have hangar door 6001, and I am going to make sure that my relationship is still set up. Is that what I want to do? Is that what I want to do? Oh, I can't because I'm in edit mode. There we go. Now, hangar door 6001 is the division, so let's rename this to let's call it WF2, so that's the interior window frames. And then I'm going to parent. I'm going to take this object mode, object properties, and select door 6. So it puts that window frame into door 6 now. But I also need to come back to the modifier and change that to 0.9. Okay, so it made it skinnier. Alright, and I want to, with that selected, I want to move that in the Y 0.1, and it moves that in like that. Alright, so now when I turn on my fiberglass here, the fiberglass is set out, the frames are set in, so the polygons or the faces don't interfere with each other. Okay? You guys see what I did there? Alright. And we'll come back to the glass and, you know, later on and play with the textures to make sure that the translucence is correct. Alright, so what I did was separate the frames, and then I made sure that it was parented with the door, so when I move the door, everything moves. I am going to repeat that process for every door. Now, the best thing would to have planned this ahead and did it when I first made the first copy of the door, so I wouldn't have to do all these individual ones again. But anyway, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to repeat the process that I just did to this to every door, and then I'll be right back. Okay, we got that going. We got all that done. I got all the frames. I didn't rename them in the other ones, but I got all the frames set back so they don't interfere with the fiberglass panels. So we're good there. Alright, so these don't have a material assigned to them yet. So let's see, let's go to materials, yellow fiber, and since that is just a standard material, there's not a pattern to it, I don't have to use the unwrap them. We can just come down, select yellow fiber, and select all those and assign that particular texture to them. Alright, so I have the yellow fiber, select each one and do that. Now, I don't know what these will look like in the sim yet, and we'll make adjustments to it, but you notice that there is some translucent I invented a new word. So there it is translucent, but we'll adjust the color and the look and feel of it later on. Alright, so anyway, we continue on. Next video, we are going to make the internal frame of the hangar. Alright, so hey, if you guys haven't, please subscribe, hit the notification bell. There's only one bell. And if you feel inclined to support, buymeacoffee.com/myphysicalworld. Thank you everybody that has been supporting me. It's awesome. Hey, I'm closing in on 1,000 subscribers, so I think I only have like 49 to get there. Not that that's my ultimate goal in life, but thank you guys for joining, and I will see you on the next video. See you later.